So hello and welcome to another episode of the Wiki Weekdays podcast. I'm your host for this episode, Karl Smallwood, joined as ever by my good friend Lucas Holland.
Hello there.
And for those of you who aren't aware, I was really stumbling over my words. It's very warm here.
It is quite toasty today, yes.
It is very toasty, so do forgive my appearance. I'm about as red as my shirt is right now, if you're watching the video version. If you are watching the video version, double apologies, because just apparently, in addition to just everyone giving up, our internet has also given up.
So Karl goes a bit robotic on the video part of the podcast, but hopefully, because audio recording's done separately, then the audio should be no problem.
Yeah, and so we just wanted to apologise and draw attention to that. But yeah, this is a series where myself and Lucas scour some breadth of the internet for a wiki on a subject we're interested in and bring it forward for discussion. And this week, I brought forward the longest running game that I still play. And I'm not sure what the thumbnail will be, so will it be yours or mine?
It might just be both.
Both. You're going to put For Honor and Spider-Man Noir on the same thumbnail?
I often do
That's a crossover.
I often do A/B testing on thumbnails, right? So
True.
Especially with the podcast, if they both make for a decent thumbnail topic, I can just put both of them and see which one works better.
To be fair, there's nothing more badass than a samurai and a knight whomping each other's asshole, while a Viking just looks in the background. It's yes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
and that Viking's me, you're just observing. Just
watching
the
right
ass whomping.
I
get stuck in one. You know what? We get to that when we get to the discussion about For Honor. You'll hear how I play that game, and the answer is without any fucking honor. Worf would not be happy with the way I play that game. It's like, Karl, you have no honor. It's like, yeah, but I've got a kill streak, though, honor.
You do indeed. Well, yeah. The wiki that I have brought for discussion this week that we got into first of though was a discussion about Spider-Man Noir, because they have a TV show that's just come out, which neither of us knew about.
It's already out. It's like, Amazon, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, there's that level of it, and there's also the aspect of there has been so many new superhero TV show releases lately that it's just hard to keep up with them all, but I'm excited to watch a Spider-Man Noir show.
It is, so stick around for the discussion of that. Before we move on, we have to give a shout out to the various people who support this podcast and the Patreon that additionally supports the podcast. And we have our names, our PPs, our Patreon producers above our heads.
Hell yeah.
But we also have this week's Pet of the Week. And Pet of the Week, you can submit a picture of your pet by joining our Discord joining our Patreon at any tier and joining our Discord. Mm-hmm. But we had to pick Freddy, because according to the caption on our Discord, Mum's not home, Freddy in the oven. It's like, you know what, Freddy, me too.
So what? Not long ago we had the was it the bird in the yard or something?
Yeah, bird in the yard, Freddy in the oven.
Now Freddy's in the oven. So hell yeah.
The thing is though, okay, Americans are probably just get air conditioning, fuck you. First of all, but what have you been doing to deal with the heat?
So I am equipped with a couple of things that I don't really want to be using during recording, but I recently, as you are aware, Karl, I went to Orlando. So I had already bought a couple of handheld fans, a little neck fan thing, some cooling towels, stuff like that. But the one thing I'll say is I know a lot of Americans especially give a shit about talking about how hot it is during our heat waves.
Just those Americans, our roads melt. Our houses are built for winter. They're designed to keep heat in. They're not made of wood, they're made of brick.
Even in early May, the heat that I experienced in Orlando, between the heat and the humidity, was the worst I've ever felt. The difference is, I could go into a building and escape the heat.
There's respite from the heat, isn't there?
Yeah, there's AC everywhere, whereas the difference maker is, we go back into our well-insulated houses that trap in the heat and don't have windows built for AC units. We don't really have we don't really have AC units readily available or cheap either.
Yeah, you can buy standalone ones, but I guess it's not going to be a thing for much longer. But generally, the reasoning most Brits have is, well, it's not hot enough for too much of the year to justify buying an AC heater. I have a space heater because you know what, it's cold for about 4 months of a year, so I can justify the cost. Hey, maybe in 10, 15 years time, it'll be hot all the time, so I can justify an AC.
That's it. It is slowly crawling up every single year of how long it is hot enough to justify an AC unit.
Like, thanks, global warming. But
Yeah.
I think it was really funny because I was out with my dad. And he's like, he was doing the classic dad thing, like mopping his brow. And it's like, oh, it's like, dads always bring up the weather. It's like, oh, it's the hottest May on record. I went, Dad, don't look at it that way. Think about it, it's the coldest May you're going to experience for the rest of your fucking life.
I fucking hate that you keep like phrasing it that way.
But it's true, innit?
It is.
Don't think of it as the hottest May on record. Think of it as the coldest May you're going to experience for the rest of your life.
And I think
Which should terrify people, but it doesn't. I saw someone on fucking Reddit of like, why is it a big deal that it's hot? It's 30 degrees all the time. Not in May, dipshit. We used to get snow.
And I think it sums it up though, right? Of like, I was in work over the bank holiday weekend and I got a message from Karl in the group chat of just like, how's everyone dealing with like the weather over the bank holiday weekend? And I'm like, the AC isn't working at work. I'm in all day and I'm currently texting you from inside the walk-in freezer. It's that bad.
I went to the gym the other day, and my gym's in the middle of a refurb, and they had no AC on. And you could see the sweat on the inside of the window of the gym. I just went home.
You don't need that.
It's like, you already know that everything you're touching in your gym's covered in sweat, but I don't need to breathe it in.
Yeah, I guess that's the other thing is like, I guess our ACs are not good enough. That like, a lot of the time, when it gets this bad, any busy building, the AC units just give up too.
It's just, like... They do work to an extent. My mum's got one.
No, they definitely do work, but like, you know, I work in a big restaurant. Like, there was that many people that I think just the AC either wasn't working at all or just couldn't work cold enough to.
It's the power grid's not designed for it, is it? 'Cause generally, in Britain, during summer, there's less demand on power because less people are indoors.
Mm-hmm.
It's winter when we have a bigger power demand because people are inside using heating. Generally, in Britain, we don't have people using cooling either. So it's and I feel we always feel the need to justify that, but every time we mention the heat, some American goes, just get AC. It's like our houses aren't built or designed to use it.
Every year we've done a podcast, we like talk about it a little bit more because every time, no matter what we say, we still get the smarmy comments, and it's so frustrating. Just
get AC. Like, why don't you just get an air conditioner? It's like, 'cause I've not got 500 fucking quid for a good one.
If you all want to give a shit, why don't we just not make content for the heat wave? See how you deal with that, okay?
Or just support us on Patreon so we can buy air conditioning.
That's true. That's the real answer.
Because like what I do is I just put a t-shirt in the freezer. I just have like for the gym, I've got like just a bunch of plain t-shirts, and just one of them is constantly in the freezer. And then just every time it's a bit warm, put that t-shirt straight back on. Let's fucking go, baby.
But yeah, it's not too bad when I can like, you know, strip down a bit more, have like fans blasting in my face.
Oh,
and stuff,
I'm not
like...
dressed below the waist. Like people like that. I'm free balling right now.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, we're literally recording any noise is going to get picked up by our mics and stuff. It's like, we've got to wear headphones and stuff. So it is exacerbating when it's like we're making it so much worse for ourselves by doing this. But hey, we want to make podcasts and content for you all.
Plus, I think it plays well if we're just really red. Like, people should know, like, you know, British people have a different skin colour beyond, are you okay? Like, have you been eating all right? You're sick?
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's anything else to talk. Oh, well, there is also, we need to mention that, at the end of the podcast, we will also be shouting out our big PPs, who are the people on our highest tier on a Patreon as well.
They are indeed, yes. But we'll move now from talking about me and Lucas being painfully white to something that is in black and white. So, Lucas, what have you brought forward for us to talk about today?
Well, I have brought the Wikipedia page forward for Spider-Man Noir because apparently we are getting a Amazon television series called Spider-Noir very soon, and I didn't realise that it was up and coming.
I didn't realise it was coming out as soon as it was, because I saw it announced, and then I saw a trailer, and I did appreciate that they did a black and white trailer, and then a trailer in colour.
Oh, did they? Right, okay.
They did too, yeah.
So
I feel it's...
I was going to say I've not even seen the trailer.
I've not watched the trailer, because it's like, well, if it's coming out this soon, I can just watch it.
Yes.
So I'm guessing we're talking more about Spider-Noir, the character, not the upcoming show or his appearance in Across the Spider-Verse.
The character. So apparently, like, this show came out yesterday, as of recording.
Oh, it's already out. Okay, I guess I know what I'm doing later then. When I'm not, like, sweating my tits off.
So Karl every now and then might go a bit staticky, but like we're recording audio separately, so hopefully just like the audio won't suffer for it, but the Discord connection has not been stellar today. Let's say that much.
It is not, no. So if you're watching the video version of this, I might every now and again just instant transmission slightly across the screen, but don't worry about it.
Yeah, every now and then that might happen, but as I say, the audio should be hopefully fine. But yeah, the Spider-Noir TV show we won't be talking about too much, but yeah, Nicolas Cage reprising their role from the Spider-Verse movie to then play Spider-Noir / Spider-Man Noir in the new TV show that's just come out like a couple of days ago. But yeah, don't worry about spoilers or anything. We've not seen it.
Is this like canon to those movies then?
Uh,
I hate how I can just in my head go, well, Amazon's producing it, so it's probably not canon. That's such a weird thing as like a fan of comics and comic characters to just in my head immediately go, oh, it's probably not canon then, is it? It's like, well, it can still be a fun story. I hate how I think like that.
So the Wikipedia page for Spider-Noir says it's set in an alternate universe within the SSU, the Sony Spider-Man universe.
The spunk, got it.
The spunk. Yeah. So, like, that means, I guess, that it's an entirely different thing. Not that it really matters, because Spider-Man Noir is, like, an incidental character in one of those movies, and it's probably not
there's
going to come up again.
multiverse stuff now, so nothing matters.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rick and Morty, for making that a thing.
Do you think Rick and Morty popularized the multiverse stuff?
I think Marvel obviously did. Like, there's no way Marvel's ripping off Rick and Morty, but I always single out Rick and Morty because I think it's like the first season is where the original Rick and Morty's family die and they just go to another universe and replace them. And from that point onwards, they expect us to give a shit. And it's like, why would I give a shit if you can just replace everyone as simple as that? Why would I care?
Yeah, and I think that's only like the either end of season 1 or start of season 2 or something. Season 1, yeah. And
they bring it back up later, but why should I give a shit?
It is just a case of like, oh no, one of us died. Oh, I guess we'll just go to the universe where like that didn't happen. It's like similar to that other episode where like Rick keeps respawning as other Ricks from other universes and stuff, and it's like, oh, so it doesn't matter if a Rick dies, that same Rick comes back as a different Rick. It's like, oh, whatever.
So why should I care? How are there any stakes in any episode if I know he's just going to come back?
Yeah, and when I say obviously popularized multiverse, I was more talking about like within media like TV and movies and stuff, not necessarily like comic books have been doing multiverse shenanigans for God knows how long, right?
Well, it's interesting because Mortal Kombat 1
mm-hmm.
introduces multiverse stuff, and they literally have the Kamidogu is now the Infinity Gauntlet. And I saw like fans of like Mortal Kombat complain like, why is it ripping off Marvel? It's like Mortal Kombat has always been a homage series.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been a series that apes what's popular in pop culture and then puts its like own Mortal Kombat-esque spin on it.
Yeah,
it's actually super on brand for Mortal Kombat to just do the MCU or the MKU, I guess, the Mortal Kombat universe. It's handled poorly, but it's not something that I have much issue with because Mortal Kombat has always been about references.
Yeah, it did throw me off with Mortal Kombat 1, where just I don't know much about Mortal Kombat in terms of the lore. Like, I play each game a little bit, but it was the fact that I didn't realise that, oh yeah, like, is it Liu Kang that becomes the god and just, like, resets the universe?
But then reset the universe,
take that
opportunity
exactly the same to swap everyone's powers around.
Like, they do the most interesting... Like, it's hackneyed to literally reset the universe, but at least when you've done that, you've got the potential to, okay, fresh slate. It's like Disney, right? Of like, okay, we're getting rid of all that extended universe shit and starting a new Star Wars universe, following on from the original trilogy and the prequels. What are you going to do? Tell the same story from the first movie again? It's like, why would you reset the universe if you're just going to tell the same fucking story 4 times in a row?
Yeah.
What's the point?
And, like, I've not seen Mandalorian Grogu, but apparently, basically, that is not, like, it's not a reboot, but it's, like, a soft reboot. Don't worry if you've never seen the Mandalorian TV show. Like, this is all you need now. And it's like,
Joe, the end of like Mandalorian season 2, where like Luke Skywalker comes in and takes Grogu, and it's all about like Mandalorian learning to let go of Grogu. What do you want to hazard a guess at the plot of Mandalorian and Grogu is? Do you think maybe it's about the Mandalorian learning to let go of Grogu? And it's like, You've already told that one. You've already told that story, and two, Grogu is 50 years old already. By the time the Mandalorian will be dead and fucking buried before Grogu is even a child.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this a plot line that you keep doubling down on? When the moment you like think about it in universe, it makes zero sense. Why would Grogu give a shit?
Yeah, but anyway, going to the Wikipedia page here, we are specifically using Wikipedia because we normally for like Marvel characters and comic book characters like go to their respective fandom pages, but it split every single Spider-Man noir up into like every different universe's version, and I'm like, there's 20 barely written wiki pages about different versions of Spider-Man noir, who, as far as I'm aware, is not a fleshed out character anyway. So it's like I've gone to Wikipedia where it's just talking about Spider-Man noir, aka Peter Parker.
Okay, it's like Spider-Noir. I'm only familiar with Spider-Noir as a visual, and a visual in the sense that Spider-Noir normally gets a costume reference in the Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know about Spider-Noir. So what's the deal? Tell me about Spider-Noir.
Yeah, so they are Peter Parker. They're known as Spider-Noir, Spider-Man, or simply Noir. And they have been appearing in comic books since Spider-Man Noir #1 in February 2009. I don't know whether...
Does this make sense to you? Like the name Spider-Noir. They come from a noir universe, but if that is the universe, why would they know what the word noir means?
But maybe it's that other people have referred to Spider-Man Noir as Noir.
Yeah. It's like, does Spider-Man call himself Spider-Man Noir, or is that what he's called outside of his own universe? Because if noir, like it's a filmmaking technique. I'm not sure it's filmmaking genre. I'm not sure exactly how to describe it, but it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But surely that thing would not exist in a universe that is entirely revolves around thing, right?
Yeah, like
Am I overthinking this?
In that universe, how would the characters in the noir universe be aware that they're in a noir universe?
Yeah, surely it'd just be normal.
Yes, which I presume is why he is often referred to as just Spider-Man, because he is just that universe's Spider-Man, and that happens to be a noir universe. And when he escapes that universe, other people like, you kind of look like you're in a noir movie. And they were taking place in an alternate universe, like these stories reinterpreted familiar Marvel characters to better reflect a hard-boiled crime noir atmosphere, with most of the adventures taking place in the United States during the Great Depression era. And I do like the idea of, like, instead of, like how the MCU, especially earlier on, they were like, hey, each different movie is going to be, like, essentially a Marvelized version of a genre.
And they kind of, like, abandoned that idea.
A little bit, yeah.
The most obvious example is the Winter Soldier movie, which is... It's basically a spy movie. It's James Bond.
It is an espionage film, yes.
Maybe closer to Jason Bourne, because it's more action-orientated, but it's a spy movie in the MCU. Ant-Man, heist movie in the MCU. Now just MCU MCU is a genre unto itself, so you just get MCU movies.
You get Marvel films. You don't necessarily get, like, genres, like, kind of being, transformed through the Marvel MCU lens anymore.
We kind of now, though, almost have that, because we do have, like, the special presentation they did for The Punisher.
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea. If they're not going to do genre movies anymore, maybe do these one-off special presentations of, like, a one-off story in the universe that can be slightly different in tone. In this case, The Punisher, very violent.
It is, and it's kind of unfortunate that we've had so many superhero drops all in one go, because I feel like I don't want to flood the channel too much with, like, here's everything that happened superhero-related in, like, May.
Yeah, because there was a lot. So there's The Boys, there was Invincible...
Yeah, and then there was
The Boys.
Daredevil.
Let's not talk about The Boys.
And then there was this Punisher one-shot, which I like aspects of, but like another thing that, like, we're kind of not talking about, because, like, it's alright, but I like the idea of being like, hey, do you want fucking John Wick, but it's the Punisher?
Yeah, I know why they did it, and there's no spoilers for this Punisher, like, one-shot. It ends when I thought it was going to get going. Like, the ending of that thing is
Yeah.
me going, oh my god, I can't wait to see what the Punisher does next. Bang! Credits, like, they got me. Make a fucking another one of these, because I want to know what the Punisher does next. But I guess that's the idea, right? Of, like,
Yeah.
rather than having an entire TV show, here's, like, just a movie-length episode
And
to wet your whistle. Do you want to
I
see some more?
think-
Fucking too right, I do.
I really think they could lean into that more, because that felt like, hey, before you read like the big next comic book, just go pick up this one issue.
Yeah.
And then you know
And I'll say
where
that-
Punisher's at before like they appear in the next crossover thing.
But I would 100% be down with another Punisher film
Yeah, yeah.
in that vein. Like, don't tell a big overarching story. Just do like these event films, like the same way like TV movie of the week, like a Hallmark movie, but it's in the Marvel universe, which I think Marvel should be doing. I think Marvel should be absolutely 100% making sitcoms. They should be making like Hallmark movies, Christmas movies. Like, get some fucking goobers from the Z tier back end of your comic books.
I think it's difficult, right? Because unless you say that nothing has to do with anything anymore, some people, like ourselves, will often feel like, oh, well, like, it's kind of like homework, I've got to keep up with everything. But then if you make it separated from everything, then the fans, again, that are very invested still, like ourselves, will be, but why am I even watching this? Because it's got nothing to do with anything else, and the point of the cinematic universe is that everything ties into one another.
And I feel like that's an us problem. Because I'm thinking, like we just mentioned Mandalorian and Grogu, of Andor, which, go watch Andor. It's the best Star Wars piece of media released in like the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And the thing that people say about Andor, I'm inclined to agree with this, is the worst thing about Andor is it makes you realise this is what Star Wars could be.
Right.
If more people didn't feel beholden to the universe and they were allowed to tell a story inside of Star Wars.
And that's why, like, as much as I kind of let this sneak up on me, it's kind of why I'm excited for the idea of just like, hey, take a Spider-Man noir series where it's just Spider-Man being in like a noir TV show for
and it doesn't
8
tie
episodes
into anything else.
I don't have to worry about anything else,
And that's, like I said earlier, it's like, I feel bad that my first instinct is how does it connect to the wider universe. It's like, I should get out of that mindset, because that Punisher one, I was so excited for more Punisher. I was like, that's great, I'm excited for another project in this universe. I'm not fatigued with the Punisher. I'm excited to see more Punisher.
Because
The same way with like Andor, of like, man, I'm excited. Not to see more Andor, I'm excited for more Star Wars. I'm not sick of Star Wars, because that is just a story told in the same universe. And then I watched The Mandalorian Season 2, I went, okay, I'm done with Star Wars.
Then you watch like The Bad Batch and Skeleton Crew and all the other things that have got going on. It's like, oh. Again, like, it's the problem of, yes, it's probably the most hardcore fans are the ones that feel, I say, beholden to a universe and feel like they need to catch up with everything. But then the issue is, if your hardcore fans are the ones decrying the way that you're doing things, how's that going to influence the less hardcore to come and join in?
Well, here's the thing. I am now 100% on the opposite side of where I used to be, of like, oh, I love this interconnected universe shit. Because Season 5 of The Boys did not fucking deliver on its shared universe idea, and that's all I'm going to say of. And it has pissed me off to no end.
I think, like, without getting into details of it, just to, like, explain what my feelings is like, they clearly had an idea for Gen V being more popular and had to U-turn, and they clearly have another show coming up that they also wanted to set up, and it's like, that's all I'll get into, but man, it's so frustrating to see it, like, just have to interconnect with other things, because then it sets it up for failure.
Yeah, it's like Avengers Ultron. Do you watch like Ultron? And it's a fine movie, but you can just feel, okay, they had to set up this Thor aspect. Like, Thor literally fucks off halfway through the movie to go get a flash forward to a new movie. And it's just, it makes it really difficult to go back and rewatch.
Well, that's the thing, is like a lot of kind of, I've seen a lot of discussion, especially the last couple of years, like the kind of revisionist history of Age of Ultron being really good. And it's like, no, it's because now that you look back and it got
paid off. Endgame
it all got paid off in the end. Like, the Infinity Stone setup doesn't feel quite as bad anymore, because we know that worked out in the end. And etc., etc. You know, the setups with like the WandaVision, oh, not the Wanda's visions to the characters and stuff.
Mhm.
Like they pay off in the end, but that doesn't make it a good movie. That makes it a good part of a universe. But then, like, you got to remember what that felt like watching Age of Ultron at the time. Going
At the
like,
time, you got
half of that
retroactive.
movie felt awful to watch because it was like, get on with the actual plot, and Ultron of all characters could completely
Gets wasted. It's the equivalent of the prequel movies, right? When we talk about the prequels, and in particular characters like Darth Maul not being characters, we always get comments. People say, well, Darth Maul's a character in Star Wars, the Clone Wars TV show. It's like, yes, but that wasn't out when the movie featuring Darth Maul existed. We had no context for Darth Maul as a character beyond literally 5 minutes of screen time and 3 lines hastily read into a microphone by Peter Serafinowicz.
Like,
that was all the character
we
was
all had
for a decade.
15 years of really liking. Sorry if we've talked over each other a bit there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You liked that for quite a bit, but yeah, we all like Darth Maul, or a lot of us really like Darth Maul, as nothing more than a visual for like 15 years.
Yeah, and every time we criticise Darth Maul as a character, we always, as I said, get someone mentioning, well, he's a good character in this extra universe bit of material. So yes, but that did not exist when The Phantom Menace was made.
And
it's okay to say as a character now, but there is new knowledge. You have to look at like The Phantom Menace in isolation and view it from the lens of people at the time of, this character gets no backstory, no introduction, and fucking dies in 10 seconds.
Yep.
He's not a character in that original movie. He is now the same way like you said with Age of Ultron. There's additional context that later movies provide that make that movie more palatable.
Yes, for sure.
Those criticisms still apply.
It is, don't get me wrong, it's cool to look back now and go like,
see the breadcrumbs.
They did put in so many details that they did actually think about and pay off in the end. But yeah, it's I'd say it's kind of very revisionist history to be like, everyone was wrong about Age of Ultron, because no, we weren't. It's just gotten better because of later movies.
Well, oddly enough, a game I'm replaying at the moment is Cyberpunk 2077.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a game where people seem to forget that when that game came out, it was so bad, so poorly optimized, that PlayStation literally gave everyone who bought it their money back. Because it was that bad, that PlayStation, this is not acceptable. We will not allow a game of this poor quality on our platform. But whenever you bring that up, fans of the game say, well, it's good now. It's like, yes, it's good now. It wasn't when it was released.
Yeah.
Your perspective now does not impact the way people saw it at the time.
It's a game that... Yeah. It's literally a game where, they changed the refund policy specifically for just Cyberpunk, because they didn't generally do refunds on games just for sake of quality, but Cyberpunk was that poor and that mainstream that they were like, no, we're getting so many requests for refunds that for just this one time, we have to just blanket statement say we'll refund everybody.
Yeah, it is the exception that proves the rule. And that context is lost in some discussions of the game today. Because I think we've mentioned it. We did a video on Cyberpunk a while back, or we mentioned it offhand. And we did get comments saying Cyberpunk's good while you're ragging on it. It's because you forget the information Lucas just revealed there. When it was released, it was so bad. PlayStation reversed a decade-long policy on refunds. Mm-hmm. You can't ignore that context, the same way you can't ignore the context of The Phantom Menace, not establishing Darth Maul as a character.
And I really am looking forward to watching another geeky thing that we've gotten in the last month, which is Maul Shadow Lord, right?
Which apparently it gives him some more characterization. I'm glad, but all that does is frustrate me to an extent of now there's going to be more people who are like, well, there's an entire TV show. What more do you want? It's like, that TV show didn't exist when The Phantom Menace came out. We didn't know who this guy was.
We're still allowed to criticize the character from that movie.
Yes. With view through the lens of the knowledge people had at the time. He's as I said, a guy who's in the movie for 10 minutes.
Who was a very cool character. We were kids when we saw that movie. We saw a double-bladed lightsaber and went, oh my god, that's cool.
Yes.
But that's about as far as it went.
It's interesting though, but in regards to spider-noir and it being a standalone thing, I'm so excited for that. I want more standalone fuck interconnected universes, fuck TV shows, or fuck movies in universes where they exist to set up other movies and TV shows. I'm tired of it. I said The Boys. Season 5 basically exists to set up Vought Rising. And as a result, the quality of Season 5 greatly suffers.
Yeah.
That sucks. I would rather just had a good TV show.
I would, and I think there's good examples of it. Like, I think one to me is Loki Season 2. Where, yes, it does change things within the Marvel Universe to an extent. And, you know,
more at a ground level.
But it could potentially be like very, very altering to the universe if they decide to go that route.
If they decide to, they're kind of like it's a foundation on which they could potentially build up new storylines. But the actual storyline of season 2 it's self-contained.
Yeah,
it tells a complete story.
It felt like it was just doing its own thing, but as you say, it can be used then to go further. Yeah. There are things that they can, if they choose to, take further later on. But it didn't feel like I was watching Loki Season 2 going like, oh, well, now they're just trying to sell X and Y thing.
Well, Lucas, like we mentioned, like Star Wars, did you happen to watch the Boba Fett TV show, which literally halfway through the season becomes Mandalorian Season 2.5?
Yeah,
because they realised they backdoor piloted. Backdoor pilot is not the right word, but yeah, they basically turned Boba Fett's TV show into season 3 of The Mandalorian halfway through because they literally didn't have enough time in The Mandalorian season 2 to tell the story they wanted. So they just shifted that storyline over to Boba Fett, and he gets sidelined in his own fucking TV show.
Like, the last 2 episodes of the Boba Fett TV show,
he's not in them.
The Mandalorian TV show, and it's like, he couldn't even get one season of his own show before he got upstage. That sums up Boba Fett in a nutshell.
But also as well, it's a great example of what we're talking about there of like how like frustrating that can be, and how limiting that can feel as a fan. And Luke's he's coughing. That's a cough of agreement right there.
I'm doing my best to. I've just got it's warm weather, I've got a dry throat, it's not going great, so I'm just trying to meet where I can.
I've got coffee.
Yeah, and going back to Spider-Man Noir, again,
speaking of my black coffee, just a man he's all in black and white.
He is all in black and white.
It's cool as fuck. I'll give him that. It's a cool as fuck visual.
I do want to know as well, like, Spider-Man, I think it was called, like, Shattered Dimensions?
Yes, that did have, like, we need to play that game or talk about that game at some point. It kind of, like, missed me, because I think there was a couple of Spider-Man games after Spider-Man 2 that weren't as good, and I kind of like got burned on Spider-Man games, and I think the one thing was Ultimate Spider-Man, which was fun, but it didn't have like the level of like freedom you had in Spider-Man 2, and playing as Venom felt really half-baked because he was basically a bonus character where you could only play as him for a limited time because his health bar constantly depleted, and he had to eat people to get more health, but the eating people like animation took slightly too long.
I think probably the exact same dropping off point for me. If I had fun with Ultimate Spider-Man, but it was one of those games where I was like, okay, I think I've had enough of Spider-Man games for a little bit.
But people talk about Spider-Man Dimensions as being really fun. So I'd be curious to go back and take a look at like folks at home, because I know it has its fans.
Oh, a lot of fans, yeah. People really like that game. I think, when we talked about Prototype and we talked about, like, a really good 7 out of 10 game that people really love. Like,
I did notice, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions I mentioned a couple of times. It's not quite perfect, so it doesn't have the web swinging. It doesn't have the open world of those other Spider-Man games. But apparently the combat's quite good, and the story of it being, like, a multiverse story, and you get to interact with all the different Spider-Men, kind of groundbreaking.
Yeah, and one of those Spider-Men is Spider-Man Noir. I did double check, like, I knew that there was the black and white noir looking one. It was released in 2010, a year after Spider-Man Noir's introduction, and must have been one of those kind of platforms to push Noir as a character. So
that'd be interesting as well. What other heroes in the Noir universe look like?
Yeah. So this is Earth 9021-4.
Like, you tell me, like, what universe is in. I think I have it here. So, Earth 9021-4. Yeah, I've got that up now. So, I've got, like, the wiki on that specific Spider-Man. So, if you want to refer to that at any point, it's right there for you, Lucas. But I'll go look at what the other heroes and villains in his universe look like. Because I'd be curious about how they're interpreted in the noir style.
Yeah, because, like, I had a quick glance at it just then, and it does mostly look like it is kind of, the classic kind of Spider-Man characters and stuff like that. Like a lot of Spider-Man's rogue gallery and a lot of Hell's Kitchen characters. Like I saw like Ben Urich in there, who's like associated with like Daredevil, Spider-Man stuff.
But
like
to see
that.
them interpreted in the noir style, because I think to like the fight scene in Across the Spider-Verse, is it? Where they bring in like the Vulture from he's from the dimension that looks exactly like a Leonardo da Vinci drawing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I guess that universe exists, and it looks sick as fuck.
It looks incredible, yeah, and obviously like the animation of Across the Spider-Verse is fantastic, but like
It's next level.
Spider-Man Noir, I think
okay. I've got Mysterio in the Spider-Noir universe, and he looks like Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
like he's not wearing like the fishbone, he's wearing like a big like masquerade mask. Not Phantom of the Opera like half his face, but like a huge big like eyes wide shut mask, and he's carrying like a little dagger. That's pretty fucking cool. And then we started and stopped, didn't we?
I lost Karl for a good while.
It's like we lost each other.
Yeah, but yeah, like that's the thing is just seeing how many. Oh, that's a good shout. Putting like Remy LeBeau in there.
Well, it's
just,
interesting,
like,
right?
The fact that you can have like Gambit, who's obviously like, a lot of his gimmick is around like playing cards and stuff like that. Like
he fits into that universe
kind
so
of character
well, right?
to put in a noir universe, and that's what I love about the idea of like having a universe that's entirely themed.
Yes, and it's something that I get frustrated by when it's not doubled down on more. I think to the Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange, and they have like the great montage of him being dragged through all these dimensions where he's painting one of them. So holy shit, that's incredible. What they're going to do? Well, they go down the same street 3 times and it looks exactly like their own universe, except for they get different actors to play the heroes. It's like, could you not think of like anything else to do?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this one's got plants all down the street. This one's got technology all down the street. This one's got pizza balls. Isn't that weird? I would have liked to see them actually go and explore actual parts of multiverses that isn't just like, yeah, here's one road that we keep going around.
Well, I think it's like when they introduce it's a fun scene when they introduce the Illuminati from another universe, but
it's fun, yeah.
They just look like MCU heroes. They're dressed like Captain America. Peggy Carter is literally just wearing the same kind of outfit Steve would, which is with a British flag.
Well, and there's Captain Marvel, who wears the Captain Marvel outfit as well. Yeah,
they couldn't even like redesign the costumes a little bit, because in that like the noir universe, Lucas, we've got fucking Kraven the Hunter, and you know what Kraven the Hunter's like in Spider-Man? He's like wearing like the fucking lion pelt, jumping everywhere with daggers like a wild man. In the noir universe, he's wearing a tuxedo and he has a little monkey on his shoulder.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going to send you a picture. Look at Kraven in like the noir universe. Look how fucking swag he is.
Let's have a look.
Look, he's swagging it out.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah.
And that's like, it's a reinterpretation of that character. It doesn't always work. Like the Ultimate Universe, for example, that sucks.
Yeah.
AKA the edgy universe where the Hulk eats people.
But again, we do get good things come from there, like Miles Morales, right?
Miles Morales. You know as well he's the only good part of that universe, because they literally destroyed his entire universe except for him.
It is great of like, look, we did one good thing. Let's shut this down, but we need Miles.
But it's interesting. I like that. It's like we talked earlier about like Mortal Kombat, where in Mortal Kombat they reset the entire universe, and I was so excited when that happened. Of like, this is going to be great. We can now reinterpret every other character. One, for example, swap Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Just swap their dynamics.
Yes.
That'd be an interesting like reinterpretation. They just tell the exact same story and every character has the exact same powers and abilities. So why reset the universe if you're just going to tell the same story again? What's the fucking point?
I know, I'm just getting up that. That's the example for the Kraven the Hunter over there.
It looks swag as fuck, right?
I was just like, yeah, good old Kraven. Like, I love the idea of again, just having that theme, and it reminds me of like when you were talking about that Illuminati of why couldn't they have themed it in a way like, oh yeah, it is, they all look like this, or even if it was just they all look a bit more extra. Like, for example,
make it more high tech.
We both played the game Marvel Rivals, right? Where just that art style is sick as fuck, and all the character designs are like absolutely nailed, just 10 on 10.
But they're all
Just
like, exaggerated.
Why couldn't it be something like that where everyone's like way more colourful and bright and overly exaggerated? Just something like that, even.
Like the closest you get is like Professor Xavier having like the weird yellow bubble chair from the cartoon series, but then, as I said, like Black Bolt is literally wearing the costume from the Inhumans TV show, and it's the same actor. It's like, why wouldn't you use that to give him a more comic accurate costume, or give him a comic costume that was different to that one? Give him a different colour scheme. Why would you not dress like Peggy Carter in like a really bright, colourful costume to contrast with the more militaristic one of Steve Rogers?
It is also just like very strange in terms of the way that sets it up. Of like, well, everyone's like either the same actor, but a different version of that same character, or it's the same character. Say, for example, like a Captain Marvel, but a different character ended up becoming Captain Marvel. But every single one of those actors is the same person that we've already seen in the like MCU originally.
Yes.
But now you've thrown that weird thing into the mix of Reed Richards is literally a different actor, and that's the one actor that changes between staying the same person within different films.
And it's a multiverse. You can say maybe there's another universe where it would be Pedro Pascal and nothing else shifts except for that. But hopefully people get my point of they had such an opportunity to do something far more interesting than they ultimately did. But I don't know why you'd introduce a concept as broad and wide-ranging as the multiverse, and the best you can do with it is, what about if this character was played by a different actor? So what about that universe made of paint? Can we go there for a little bit? I want to see what's going on with that shit. I want to see paint Doctor Strange. I
mean, yeah, that would be nice. I can understand the difficulties of doing that, but why make that movie then?
Yeah, like it's similar to, like, it's the storytelling equivalent of when writers make a character who's like super smart. It's like their thing is they're the smartest person in the universe, but in the context of the universe, they're the smartest character there, but the writer who writes them isn't, and the writer is really unimaginative with their powers. Yes, I'm still talking about the fucking boys. God damn it! Hey, this character's the smartest person in the universe. They do fucking nothing with it because the people writing them aren't the smartest people in the world.
Yeah.
It's the storytelling equivalent of that, isn't it? Like we have all this. Look, it's a universe where anything can happen. What's the thing you can think of then? What's the limits of your imagination when you get to choose anything? Well, how about if Professor X came back, played by the same actor who's played him for 25 years,
but this time in a different chair?
Like, really, you could choose anything, and that's the extent of your creativity when you've literally been given the entirety of the Marvel universe to pull from. It's like, your best idea is, what about if Patrick Stewart came back?
There's a lot of good elements of Multiverse of Madness.
There is, yes. I'm using it as an example.
I have way more of a positive affiliation with that, association with that movie than most do. If more of that movie was actually being creative, for example, the zombie Doctor Strange, or the Doctor Strange fight where they have the literal musical fight, right? And they're slapping musical scales back and forth and stuff.
Super fucking cool and interesting.
Really interesting and cool. And then a lot of it is just what if Bruce Campbell sold you pizza balls?
It's like the What If show, isn't it? Where that in the original What If comic books, they've got some absolutely fucking wild stuff in there. It's like, what if the Punisher got the Venom symbiote? And it's like, it's a bad time for fucking everybody. What does the What If show do? And it's like, well, what about if we brought all the same actors back? It's like, really?
Yeah.
He's going to tell...
And the biggest problem with the What If stories is the fact that they decided that
to set up a bigger overarching story,
to have an overarching story within the What If stories, and it's
which seems completely...
The whole point should be that it's single What If stories that don't need to be tied into anything.
It's literally the opposite of what the original premise suggests. The original premise is one-off standalone episodes where it's what if something fucking buck wild happened in the MCU? How would the world be different? And as I said, they used to set up an overarching narrative that's 3 seasons long. It's so I can't just watch any episode of what I can't. We're never going to get, like we did in the original, what if the Thing was blue? That's my favourite What If comic book, where it's just, what if the Thing was blue? And it's just, the Thing is just blue, and everyone's like, well, you need to change your uniform, Ben, because you can't wear blue like underwear if you're blue. Like, that's such a stupid concept, but at least it's interesting, and it's not... It's standalone.
It should be entirely standalone anthology-type series, yeah. It's like they did that, apparently, with, like... I don't know whether they're necessarily standalone, but they did, like, a Black Panther show where there was, like, 4 different episodes of 4 different Black Panthers throughout history. I was like, that's a cool idea.
That's a cool idea. I want to see the historical Black Panther. Like we mentioned in the Ghost Rider Wiki Quickie, they did like Marvel 1 million BC, and it's like, oh, Ghost Rider riding a fucking mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
Give me, like, where was that what if? Like, oh, what if the MCU took place 25,000 years ago and it's in ancient Egypt now? Let's fucking go.
But yeah, I don't think there's like too much to delve into with Spider-Man Noir. I just thought like it was a good excuse to have like a wider discussion. But I do like the fact that Nicolas Cage is coming back, and
you know he's having fun, right?
Yeah, like, you know, it does say here that like his abilities are, you know,
basically
he's a Spider-Man. He's got proportional strength, speed, and agility of Spider. He's got organic web generation.
That is interesting. He has organic webbing.
Yeah,
we had this discussion before, haven't we?
Needed.
Like, you like web shooters, but only if they're used creatively, and they're not often used creatively. It's like, even I think my biggest criticism of web shooters is they can run out, and them running out is never really a plot point. It's like, surely that's a great way to inject organic drama, ironically enough, into a Spider-Man story. You can have him run out of ammo halfway through a fight.
Either that, or as you mentioned, just like, I want the shooters to exist for a reason of like having all of the different types of
doing like crazy ass
Spider-Man can, like like ricochet webs and like sticky bombs and stuff like this, like electric webs. Yeah, just if you're not going to do that, he might as well have organic webbing.
And I have a different approach to it. I think Spider-Man should have organic webbing because he's called Spider-Man. And the one thing that spiders are known for, it's not crawling on walls, it's making webs. And that's the one thing Spider-Man can't do on his own. He makes his own webbing in a sense, but if you just like look at his power set and he doesn't have the ability, he doesn't make himself some webs, he might as well be like fucking Gecko Man. Like, what difference is he from like a gecko or a beetle? Yeah.
But it does say here as well that because it's a noir thing, he is a skilled marksman as well. So this Spider-Man is in like Japanese Spider-Man era, and he's got the machine gun.
The thing is though, it's next level. It's so powerful. Like, Japanese Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man. He's got a gun and a giant robot. Fuck you.
He just throws a net on you, shoots you, and then jumps in his giant mech and runs away.
Thing is, though, how insulting is that Spider-Man can make web, but throws an actual net made a rope at you? For the insult, then just shoots you with a machine gun.
It must be terrifying when just Spider-Man drops out of, like, the... You know, he jumps into like the alleyway or whatever in like this noir series, and just, what's Spider-Man gonna do? Is he gonna beat me up and web me up? It's like he just pulls out like the dual wield Tommy guns, and he's just like, pulls out the piece. Let's go.
I picture, you know, that game like Squirrel with a gun, and the squirrel has to shoot the gun. I imagine like Spider-Man gets like a gun, like a shotgun, and uses a double jump. But I guess it's a noir universe. It'd be a bit more serious, a bit more grounded.
Of course, yeah.
And at the very least, it'd play it more serious for a joke.
That's where, you know, obviously the thing that I'm more familiar with is him Into the Spider-Verse, like where he plays off other characters, but he's still, again, he is a more serious take on the Spider-Man. Like, he's funny and he's got those comedic lines, like the bit with the Rubik's Cube of like wanting to understand
that would blow
how
your
the
fucking mind,
works.
Right?
Yeah, like he's discovering colour for the first time, basically.
It's like those. I remember once. It's a Dr. Brian Cox. When he's explaining like multiple dimensions, like, okay, so we exist in 3 dimensions, but imagine, for example, a line that's 1 dimension, and then you draw a line like, you know, upwards. That's 2 dimensions, and if you were in that 2-dimensional world, you would see that line. That'd be the only thing you can see. However, we're in 3D, so we can see both sides. We can see the X and the Y axis. If you were in the 4th dimension, you would view the universe, you'd be able to see that 3rd dimension. And things in the 4th dimension will cast 3-dimensional shadows. And I went, no, it's too much. So obviously we're 3D, we cast 2D shadows. But if we go into the 4th dimension, time, and we saw like a time shadow, and that's potentially what time travel is. I'm like, no, stop. I can't deal. It's too much. That's what it'd be like.
A weird thing, there's just a subtitle, The Gwen Stacy Affair, as I'm like going through all of the different headlines on this wiki page.
Fair enough.
So yeah, after temporarily parting ways with Felicia, as in like the Black Cat, which
Black Cat must look so good in that universe.
That's the couple pairing that you want in the noir universe, isn't it? It's like Spider-Man and Black Cat.
Well, a cat burglar makes so much sense in a noir inspired universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's got to wear the big hat, right? The Carmen Sandiego hat. Or Carmen Sandiego, I know, but I always say Sandiego. It's the big...
I mean, we can always look it up here, right?
Like, I'm wondering, like, the big Lady
like...
Dimitrescu-esque hat.
Oh, Felicia Hardy, let's go. It doesn't look like she's got like a kind of like a white thief mask look going on.
Fair enough. I'm happy with that as well. Like a good old tuxedo mask.
Yeah. I'll send the picture to you.
Like the domino mask.
It's not like a domino mask. It's like a full like.
Ah, okay. It's like a Vega mask.
Yeah, it does actually remind me of Vega. Yeah, true.
It's probably a reference to something else. I think Vega from Street Fighter.
Yeah. But no, that's the pairing that I want when it's like, yeah, just get Black Cat in there. That's the perfect thing to do in a noir universe.
It's also cool as well that Black Cat is wearing a white mask. So she contrasts with Spider-Man who's wearing all black.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the interesting about like a noir universe as well. You can play with like light and shadow so much. There's so much you can do from like an artistic standpoint with like that design philosophy in mind.
Mm-hmm. That was great, yeah. And just got that Black Cat on screen for a few seconds there for people. But yeah, just it's just one of those interesting things of like, I kind of wish we got more of this. Of like, it's not been like the most crazy wiki to talk through because it's like, oh hey, it is kind of just Spider-Man but in a noir universe. But like, I like that.
That's enough.
I wish they would kind of lean into that more sometimes.
Yeah. Like that's enough of a pitch for a show. For a one-shot run of comics. Same like the What If idea, right? Of like that's enough for a single episode, a single comic. I don't understand why they don't use it. It's their idea. Like one thing like for Marvel I would love for them to try again is Nuff Said. Are you familiar with like the Nuff Said series of comics they did?
I don't think so.
So they were comics that had no dialogue.
Oh, okay.
Hence the name Nuff Said. And they were just pictures where you told the story entirely through the art. That'd be a fascinating idea. Obviously, you'd never be able to make that into a movie. But I would love like a series of short TV
vignettes.
shows. Yeah. Do the same way like Primal, the Genndy Tartakovsky show, which is like almost no dialogue. It's just about like a guy in prehistoric times, like fist fighting dinosaurs and shit. Get him to do that.
Yeah, or to be fair, like it would make for a great bit if you did like a Spider-Man noir short vignette where it's a silent film, right?
A silent film, yeah.
That'd be really fun.
It seems like WandaVision, right? Of like, I remember seeing all the pictures for WandaVision and thinking, this is fucking fantastic. I thought WandaVision was going to be a standalone TV show, where it's just, we're going to make a 50s, 60s style, like I Love Lucy-esque TV show in the Marvel Universe with Marvel characters, and then it had to link to the multiverse. It's like, I would have loved to just watch the WandaVision show. That sounded really fun when you first pitched it.
And I also love WandaVision for the sake of we do get that different sitcoms through time for different episodes and stuff.
That's fun. It's more the production of that show is more fun than the actual show itself.
The actual show, yeah.
I'm never going to rewatch WandaVision because I know that it exists to set up Wanda's appearance in a Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, and it's just one of those of like, I'll no doubt come and talk about my feelings of like the Spider-Man Noir show now that it's out. I don't know when. I'm not promising anything, but I'm sure like at some point we'll mention it because
we'll probably mention
it's
it
just cool.
Podcast.
I've like, yeah, potentially, and I think it's just cool. The idea of like, yeah, do you want a noir show that just happens to have Spider-Man in it? It's like, yeah, that sounds cool. I can't wait to see what all of those different characters look like in that cool, imagine different alternate universe.
It's like you own this universe. Why not have fun with it?
But
why keep telling the same story?
Like, how many characters Are we actually going to be able to use that'll be the interesting question.
True, yeah. And that I hate that. That would be one of my thought process of like, what did Sony let them use when they were making this? Are they allowed to put the X-Men in? It's like they're probably not allowed to put the X-Men in.
Like, are we going to be allowed to like use like Punisher or Kingpin or Daredevil? Maybe not. But we'll see. Punisher, I don't know.
Put Punisher in there as like the Shadow, like a Dick Tracy-esque character.
I like put him in as the Gun. Just
the piece.
Like, what happens when Frank Castle's like, no, Spider-Man, like, just leave me alone.
You're a fucking idiot. Like, no, and then, he gets his gun from the Punisher.
Well, that's the I'm thinking of like, what if Spider-Man tries to stop the Punisher, but this time Spider-Man's got a gun too? And
it's what I'm hoping for.
Well, shit.
I'm hoping for that in Brand New Day. I'm hoping they like recreate like Aunt May giving the great power speech, but it's Punisher giving him a gun. It's like, remember, kid, fucking empty the clip. Bam, 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 bam.
Oh dear. But yeah, I think we can move on to your wiki because, like, yeah, it's a bit warm, and we're trying to make sure that we don't go too long today. But
we can indeed, yes. But before that, I guess there's a little bit of housekeeping.
Well, I'm gonna just go take a toilet break before we go.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'm gonna go get this a big like daddy long legs been flying around my room, and I want to go get rid of it.
So, Karl, we are back from our break, and we just need to, as you mentioned, go into a little bit of housekeeping before we go onto your wiki.
Yes, so if you are a supporter of this channel, particularly a supporter on our Patreon, you can go find a extra bit of content that we recorded especially for our supporters over there. It is an idea for a series I've been wanting to trial for a while. I'd love to get some feedback on it, because it's an idea I think could potentially become its own channel one day, if not a series on here. But it's Sell Me With a Screenshot. It's a very simple premise of I have gone and watched one of my favourite shows, taken a bunch of out-of-context screenshots from it, presented them in a slideshow, and then shown that slideshow to Lucas and getting to react to it, see if I can get him to watch the show. Should we reveal the show?
No. I'd say keep the show a surprise.
Well, you'll know from like the thumbnail when you go over to our Patreon, so I guess it's like, it's one click away to know what show we talked about, but you've already said that you also would like to use the format to try and sell me on a show you like, right?
Yes, and spoilers for everyone watching, it's not going to be One Piece.
Because that's the expected choice, isn't it? But I would very much looking forward to seeing your take on the format. But yeah, that's the only housekeeping I'd like to do, so go check that out.
Yeah, so maybe go check that out and leave us some format feedback on the format if you would, like to, I guess. But yeah, maybe we can take that feedback and potentially incorporate it into the version that I do to then tell Karl on a screenshot.
Like refine it and retool it to hopefully create something that works better. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't want to say it doesn't work already, but feedback is always helpful. So yeah, definitely go check that out, because it's an idea we wanted to do for a while. Even though it's very simple, it still required me to watch like 7 seasons of the show to look for the absolute best / worst out of context screenshot I could.
Fair. Yeah, there's something you've got to be like pretty familiar with to be able to find those particular correct screenshots.
And that's the idea behind it, of like, it's me who's like watch this thing backwards and forwards multiple times, trying to sell you someone who has absolutely no interest in it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was fun. And I guess it's also worth mentioning, just like, go check out the link to the Patreon anyway. But yeah, every time we release a new like Patreon exclusive thing, it'll just get added to a growing list of things that you will gain access to, even if you subscribe for like 1 month on that tier.
Yes, so not to mention as well, I think something I did with the commentary track we did for Hot Fuzz, I'm going to cut together like a 10-minute supercut of the episode to upload as one of the shorts. We do alternating content, so we do a Wiki Weekdays podcast, and then every other week we do a short, either a Wiki Quickie, or in this case, an edited version of a piece of content we're trialing over on our Patreon.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a good way to like kind of give people a bit of a free trial, so to speak, of what the content
first taste is
be.
free.
Yeah, exactly. But Karl, moving on from housekeeping, what have you got to talk about this week?
Well, speaking of first taste is free, let's talk about something that's basically being given away these days, and that is the video game For Honor.
Oh, right, okay.
So I wasn't sure if this would be a main channel video, so I could put clips in, then I remember it's a video game, so there's not that many clips, or it'd have to be like gameplay that other people recorded.
Yeah,
but For Honor is a fascinating like case study.
It's a really interesting game. Yeah.
It is. And for anyone who's unfamiliar with what For Honor is, as described here, For Honor is, not was, is, because it's still ongoing. What does the Destiny wiki say, Lucas, about Destiny 2? Did I say is?
It's technically still ongoing until June. Is it still ongoing?
Okay.
Until June.
That's what I wanted to bring up of like how the longevity of For Honor is surprising to me. But, it is an action game developed and published by Ubisoft, which is the other thing that makes it surprising. Like, Ubisoft shut fucking everything down. That's not a Tom Clancy game. If it's not Siege, it's not happening. And For Honor's still ongoing to this day.
And, I will mention, I love Destiny. I've got thousands of hours in Destiny 2. Like, been playing since the alpha of Destiny 1. Destiny is cutting off, like, live service going forward next month. I'm not going to talk about it because our audience is not interested in Destiny. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I'm very committed to Destiny. I'm still playing Destiny. I'm gutted, but I'm not going to make a video about it.
Well, see, I'm still playing For Honor because I was surprised because over the Christmas period, like in 2025, I saw like For Honor on sale for like £3. I went, you know what, for the sake of £3, I bet there's still a couple hundred people playing. I can just go in and play a few games of For Honor for the sake of a couple of quid over Christmas when I've not really got much else to do. Yeah. To my surprise, when I booted it up, it's like, okay, here's like the 5 years of updates since you last played. Here's like the 20 new characters. It still has an active player base. And when I booted it up, it's like, oh, there's a new character coming out next week. And there's still new characters being made for this game. And it came out in 2017. So that's almost a decade that this game has been like an ongoing live service game. And it was never pitched as that. What was pitched as a decade-long game, Lucas?
I mean, Destiny did achieve that.
Did Destiny, or like, as a series, or was it Destiny 1? Because Destiny 1 was pitched as a 10-year game, and they brought out Destiny 2.
They brought out Destiny 2 like 3 years later, I think.
Exactly, whereas they didn't with For Honor. For Honor is still the same game.
Yeah, so that's one different thing. It's like Activision were, behind the scenes very much pushing for them to be like, no, make a sequel so that the player base doesn't drop off. Bungie wanted to just keep it as one game. That's a lot of, things behind the scenes. But like Destiny 1 and 2 combined lasted over 10 years.
They did, but they still had to release a second game, which is why it's so interesting that For Honor has been ongoing for 9 years, shows no sign of slowing down, and it's like a game that no one really talks about today. So I wanted to talk about it, because For Honor is a really interesting, like, as a case study of it has lasted longer than games that were literally pitched as being a decade-long live service game.
It's very nice to see because, like, obviously nowadays people talk about games as a service as like, this plague on the industry and like which PlayStation making this big push towards like loads of different live service games and stuff. And like, I can understand that perspective because nowadays, like, there's no room to breathe anymore. Like,
there's also as well the games refresh in like a year. I think it's like Call of Duty where you'll get all of your Warzone progress deleted as soon as a new Call of Duty game comes out, and the player base will tank instantly as soon as a new game comes out. FIFA, you have to buy a new FIFA game every single year.
But they're not pitched as like live service games necessarily, but it's one of those of...
It's indicative of the industry's approach to an ongoing live service game where it's like the closest equivalent, the longest running game I can think of is probably like not Red Dead Online, GTA Online, which has been ongoing for like 15 years at this point.
Without being really reset or anything like that, yeah.
And it presumably will be when GTA 6 comes out. And I think, you know what? Most people probably didn't expect for that game to last 15 fucking years.
Yeah.
And I think a game like that should probably have a life cycle between 15 years and 1 year.
Yeah, like, it does get to the point, even, say, for example, like, a Destiny, or, like, there's MMOs and stuff, right? Like, think of, like, a World of Warcraft or a Final Fantasy 14 or something, where, like, at this point, getting into those games must be ridiculously overwhelming, but For Honor kind of has a good format for it, because essentially it's just a fighting game where you just get new things in it.
Yes, so we continue now with the description on Wikipedia. You take the players, play the roles of historical forms of soldiers and warriors, hailing from one of 5 factions. They are the Knights, the Samurai, the Vikings, the Wu Lin, and a fifth faction called the Outlanders. And the Outlanders is the new faction I wasn't aware of, because I stopped playing the game like 5 years ago. And when I stopped playing the game, they introduced the Wulin. So when the game was first pitched, it's one of those things where it's like, how did this game not exist already? Because it's such a perfect idea of samurai, knights, Vikings fighting each other. Fucking incredible premise.
I presume it probably did, in a sense of like, I'm pretty sure they did release a crappy like Deadliest Warrior game at some point, right? But this is the idealized version of that.
Yes. And each of the factions, Viking, Knights, and Samurai, all have like their distinct hero units. So you don't play as a character, you play as an archetype. But I think at this point, the archetypes have now become characters in and of themselves. Because previously, like in the initial game when I was playing it, every character wears a mask. And I always read that as, you're not playing as like the Warden. That is just a guy who dresses like that. And he fulfills his role. But in the years since, people have grown attached to these characters and their archetypes, so they've kind of become characters.
And I think that's the way that a game stays on for this long, is like, it's hard to get invested in years and years worth of characters if all of them are just faceless, nameless people.
Faceless goons, right? It's like Star Wars Battlefront. That's like another game that has a weirdly long life cycle. Like Battlefront 2 especially is still ongoing to this day. Which is especially impressive when you consider its absolutely dog shit, abysmal reaction to it on release. And they to their credit, they reversed course and they took all the stuff out people complained about. And to this day, it still has an active, healthy player base.
Yeah.
And I think for most people are happy to play as Stormtrooper number 3.
And with the premise of, if you're good enough at being a Stormtrooper or whatever, then you get to go and play as your favourite hero. Yeah.
But when I was like still playing it, they introduced the fourth faction, the Wulin. So they're Vikings, Samurai, Knights, and the Wulin is from China. And that was interesting. I felt it's a bit too limiting. And I was wondering, when are they going to say, okay, we've got such a good idea here, there's such a good core of an idea here. For Honor 2 just seemed like a no-brainer to me. Make For Honor 2 and get rid of the faction shit. Get rid of factions and instead make it into Deadliest Warrior. And rather than having 3 distinct factions, because that way you're kind of stuck having to create characters who fit within those 3 archetypes, and instead just like base it around just warriors from around the world. And they brought in the Outlander faction, who were just like, it's just Deadliest Warrior. Like they've got like an Aztec warrior in there.
Oh, cool.
They have like an Egyptian warrior. And it seems really strange of like, you could make For Honor 2 and just put all those characters in and just get rid of the factions, but it's kind of weird looking at the character select screen and seeing like, okay, so you got 10 knight characters, 10 samurai characters, 10 Viking characters, but then like ancient Egypt gets one guy.
You get rest of world.
Yeah, which it feels oddly dismissive of the rest of the world. But the fact it's been ongoing for 9 years.
It's an inelegant solution to kind of the corner that they found themselves trapped in, right?
They sort of painted themselves into a corner, and I think the Wulin was their attempt. Like, okay, we want to introduce like characters based on like Chinese martial arts and historic weaponry, but we can't do that because we've literally got there's the Japanese side. So let's make a new faction of Chinese warriors. Well, then they couldn't make then they put a knight. Then they put like a pirate in there. It's like, well, a pirate doesn't really fit with anybody. So we kind of have to like make a new faction just for the pirate, but the pirate's kind of lonely over there. So let's put in like a bunch of other like ones. Like I said, like the Egyptian one, the Indian one.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. And like, for people who may not understand what For Honor is, I mentioned earlier it's kind of like a fighting game. Like, what is the kind of gameplay crux of it?
Well, it says here, so For Honor is an action fighting game set during a medieval fantasy setting. Players control a character from one of 5 different factions, as mentioned, and it's such an interesting like gameplay system. And it's a fighting game, but it's not a fighting game where it's like Tekken, like left and right, and some 3D movement in Tekken. But for the most part, that's a game about positioning, like, and generally the position is like on the X-axis. It's similar to like I mentioned earlier, like trying to perceive something beyond like the 3rd dimension.
Yeah.
It's a fighting game where they added in an entirely new dimension of you now have complete 3D movement around an open world.
And yes, like Tekken again is a 3D fighter, but as you say, the main crux is on that one plane. Like when someone sidesteps or side rolls, the plane and the camera like shifts a little bit to put them both back on one level plane again.
Also,
it's essentially just a dodge.
Also, in literally every fighting game, moves can come from one of two directions: up and low. You have high, you have low. You can have mids, but that's still on the same axis. For Honor introduced an entirely new system where it's like one of three directions: left, right, or dead center. And it's such an elegant innovation on the idea of a fighting game. And they do so much with that. And it's to the point where I was thinking, Ubisoft makes this. This is what they should use for Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed should use this combat system because it's so satisfying. It's difficult, admittedly, but once you like master it, it feels incredible. Like when you are like just parrying motherfuckers and like responding to their parries by like bashing them with like the hilt of your weapon and throwing them into a flaming pit. It feels so sick.
I'm thinking like maybe because Assassin's Creed already has two distinct different play styles already. Like,
but it's Batman Arkham.
It's Batman Arkham, or you've got the RPG kind of ones that are a bit more like slightly Souls-esque. But I'm thinking, how about using the For Honor battle system to reboot Prince of Persia? And when you get into combat, that's where
that could
Prince
work.
of Persia combat works.
The reason I say like Assassin's Creed is very clearly just aping the Arkham system, and by now it's like people recognize it as the Arkham and the Assassin's Creed system. But I look at it and go, you innovated this For Honor fighting system that literally nothing else in the industry does. No other game plays like For Honor, and you own it outright. Why not make a game with that system? Do you like the Nemesis system in those like Shadow of Mordor games that is just forever locked to those games because the company who owns the patent on it refused to let anybody else use it?
Yeah, so funnily enough, the Nemesis system was the first thing that came to my mind when you were talking then as well.
Yes.
And I'm going to make you mad too because I had to see it. Someone made a video that I saw, like a clip of, that was like the perfect game to have the Nemesis system would be Pokemon. And like the trainers come back and they've like got things to say specific to your last battle and they've like leveled up in new ways and stuff. I was like, you know what, that's how the rivals should work in Pokemon there. That's so true.
The Nemesis system is so fucking good. It makes, like you said earlier, the Arkham fighting system. That's what Shadow of Mordor has. And there's some innovation that you have more like, instead of having like gadgets, you have like wraith powers. The Nemesis system elevates that game from being a 7 out of 10 to an 8 or 9 out of 10, as we mentioned in the prototype video.
Yeah.
Because it leads to organic moments you literally cannot have in another game. Like I distinctly recall doing a playthrough of Shadow of Mordor and just getting jumped by a dude who I thought I'd killed like an hour earlier.
Yeah.
And no one... I'm assuming that happens to other people, but because he was a dude responding to the way I killed him, the way I betrayed him, it felt like it was unique to my playthrough.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how it worked, but sorry, just needed a cough. But I remember a moment where I picked a mission to go and like, kill one of the captains or whatever of the orcs, and I go in there and either I killed them or I was like halfway through the fight or something. And then an orc that I'd previously killed and had been resurrected busted in like, you're not getting the kill on this guy, I am. And like...
Yeah, and it feels so cool. It makes what would otherwise
so
be a very boring, generic mission. Like, how many missions in that game are just go fight 50 orcs in a castle and take over the castle? But the Nemesis system allows for like just organic changes to be made on the fly that makes every like run. It's almost like roguelike-esque.
Slightly, yeah. It's got elements, and I love the fact as well that like characters will come back and be like, "Oh, you poisoned me last time. That won't work on me again."
Also, it makes you attached too, because it's a game where you slaughter literally thousands of orcs. I grew attached to some of my orcs because I remember one where he's like, "Okay, I'm just going to dominate this dude because he's got a funny fucking name." He was called like, I don't know, like Piss Pot or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? He's now my captain. He became a proper fucking bro. Where he was like jumping into battle, and I remember when he died, and I got really mad about it.
Yeah,
he was my bro.
No, uh, you know, it is maybe one of the most fun systems that has been patented and can't be used in any other game. Like,
It's so frustrating.
it's so weird the fact that this, as you say, what otherwise would be a 7 out of 10, like pretty fun Lord of the Rings game, has become a thing that people still talk about actively to this day, like quite a lot because of just that one gimmick.
I said it makes the game better just by being in it. And any game that utilised it would similarly be improved by its implementation, unless the game was specifically not revolving around. But I'm thinking of an Assassin's Creed game where they put that in. That would whip ass. A Pokemon game where they had that in. Grand Theft Auto, put the fucking Nemesis system in there. It would work in almost any kind of game.
Can you imagine, like, the cop that you just shot down out of a helicopter comes back and he's like, right, the moment I spot you, 3-star wanted level.
Yeah. Like, it's a system that is... I can think of countless ways where I would like introduce it or some element or variation of it into a game series that I like. And it would work. The same way with like that For Honor fighting system, if that would work so well for an Assassin's Creed game, or you said a Prince of Persia game.
And Karl, obviously, talking about For Honor, I know there's one thing in the For Honor fighting system that you and I both really love.
Which is?
The ring outs.
Okay, so... We'll keep going through like the description of the gameplay now. So all heroes are unique and have their own weapons, skills, and fighting style. And you play against your opponents with a class-specific melee weapon. And that's one thing that's interesting about For Honor. Obviously, initial game, Knights, Samurai, Vikings. You have like the Vanguard, this is the guy who you can play if you just want to learn the game. And it's like just the Warden, just Knight with a broadsword. Viking just has a battle axe. The Samurai just has a katana. But then they start to get real fucking weird with it. That's the Egyptian one, where the Egyptian dude is wielding like this ancient Egyptian like dual battle staff that splits into two, and he has a fighting style that revolves around splitting his weapon into like either a staff or like two little axes. Or I think I sent you like the trailer for like a video that you were making like of the the Renaissance Italy era like fencer. Whose whole deal revolves around like dodging.
And taking selfies.
Yeah.
Like, just style on your opponent, basically. And, yeah, I love that. And that's one of the things that I think it made Soul Calibur really endearing, is that, like, every single fighter in that fighting game also had a different weapon to wield. And
they had a really interesting looking weapon that made them distinct. Yeah. And that's why I think, like, For Honor 2 would go so hard. Because there's some notable exceptions from, like, the For Honor fight, like, character list of... There's no Spartan.
Oh, right.
There's no Spartan.
That, yeah.
And you think that was one of the first things you put in, right? Spartan versus Ninja. So. It's right. It's the deadliest warrior classic. Where's the Spartan?
And then you could also do it like, you could potentially have like, oh, here we've done like a thing with PlayStation where we've put Kratos in the game, right?
You can put like skins and stuff in there. Well, that's the thing. What For Honor has had like a weirdly large amount of crossovers, and we'll get to that in a moment. But you mentioned like the ring outs and stuff. So like all characters are unique. You gain feats and have additional perks when you're playing against the AI, which are fun, overpowered in the initial base game, and not as powerful and game changing as they once were, and are sort of like just balanced around the kind of character you're playing. But a tactical combat system known as Art of Battle is initiated when the player encounters another player.
Okay.
And it's that's the triangle
into like the triangle system, yeah.
And it's and on paper it's rock paper scissors, like 1, 2, 3. And they probably could have made it a little bit more complicated, but I think it's perfect because it is the thing you want from a game like this, where simple to learn, a lifetime to master. Of like, there is shit in this game that I couldn't even comprehend when I was like playing against people, because the amount of layers you can have of you can feint. Obviously, you can swing your sword, you can block that sword, but then when you are swinging, the person can parry your blow and they get a defense from that. But the person swinging their sword can now feint and then switch directions. Similarly, you can feint a parry and switch into the other direction and block it again. Alternately, you can feint a feint and just do a regular swing, and sometimes that'll catch people because you've now feinted the feint. And the layers that can just build against, especially when you have like a one-on-one with someone for like 3 or 4 minutes, where it's like a back and forth.
Well, and that's the interesting thing, is because it's like a group-based open environment, you don't necessarily always end up in one-on-ones. Like, that's why I think the simplicity is key.
the simplicity is key, especially when you get jumps. Obviously, you might think, well, getting jumped must fucking suck, right? And it does, but they balance it so well where you will only ever need to block from the direction in which you're being attacked from when you're facing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else who's in your peripheral, if you just like, say if like you're fighting one person one-on-one, and there's two guys trying to gank you to the right, if you just hold to the right, it doesn't matter what direction they attack from, high, low, left, right, as long as you're holding to the right and you're locked onto that guy, you'll block it.
Okay.
And when you're being ganged up on, eventually you'll get like your second wind, and you'll explode, you'll parry everybody, you'll get more health and adrenaline, and you can actually fight your way out of like a 3-on-1, a 4-on-1 gank, and it feels so fucking cool when you do.
Well, I still remember there was that one time that we were both playing together online, and I was very new to the game, but you were trying to like chaperone me through a little bit, and we were having fun. But there was like one fight where I think we ended up against like 4 or 5 people, just 2 of us versus a big group. And there was a moment where like, okay, we fought off a couple of them, we managed to like hold our own, but then I got taken down, and then you just had like that moment of like the hero
stand.
of like, I will avenge you, and just took everyone else out.
And it's the thing, it's similar to like the Nemesis system of it's so unique to For Honor where you can't get that in another game. Because like Assassin's Creed, for example, you can press one button and insta-kill every enemy in the game.
Yeah.
You don't have the moment of like, I'm on my last sliver of life, but I've managed to land that perfect parry, and now I get the adrenaline boost, and that just gives me the ability to armor through 1 or 2 attacks to get the win. And you know what I'm just thinking of now? A Star Wars game. A Star Wars game with this fighting system.
Yeah, true. Very true. It's like it's
Go for the duels.
Literally got essentially a Star Wars fighting system already built in.
Right in
like,
there.
It also accounts for different weapon styles. Like, as you say, like there's characters with like the dual wielding like sticks and stuff, or like the dual blade. I'm sure you could incorporate that easily enough and stuff.
Instead of feats, you could just put in force powers.
Yeah.
But as Lucas mentioned, there are ring outs. So one of the other elements that you need to take into account is there are, in some arenas, like you do have the one-on-one arenas, like literally just you are in a square fight. You still have the walls though, but there are potential hazards, such as things on the floor where your character can trip. You can be thrown into a ditch. There are spikes on the wall you might get kicked into and die. There might be random minions in like the bigger open world games, which for the most part you can just slaughter all of them and get your points. But if you're in the middle of a team fight, your minions can attack the person you're with, so it can be a tactic to back into your own minions and let your minions just like distract your opponent.
I was going to say, yeah, if nothing else, it's a distraction tactic, right? But I do love the idea that, like, yeah, when you can ring out people, like, say if Karl's fighting someone one-on-one, I can kind of just sneak up behind them and grab them, throw them off the edge.
Yes, and
It's always possible.
Spoilers, it's always fucking funny. But For Honor became, and it's a shame, and I understand why they did it, because the competitive element wasn't there. It was very unfair to go into a 2v1 as the people doing the 2v1. Because initially the game was so weighted in terms of defense, there was no incentive to swing because the reward for parrying was too high. Right, and as a result, you could basically, if you were skilled enough, always win a 2v1. And something they did to try and make it a bit like less bullshit if you got like ganked or someone managed to sneak up on you, is they removed a lot of the stage hazards that were instant kills. And I dislike that because I found that to be funny. Especially in like situations, especially if you were the one being overwhelmed, or someone was like absolutely fucking whomping your ass, but you managed to get a lucky grab and just throw them off the edge of a bridge. You could argue that's not a fair win. You didn't use skill to win. What I'd argue is I'm playing, as the title of the game suggests, for honor, not with honor. And I just liked that as an idea of not only was it it was funny. It was a great equalizer in situations where you were overwhelmed or the person was just more skilled than you are. It also felt more realistic to a fight like that, right? You know what? Sometimes you might just fall over and eat shit. If you're a good warrior, you should be aware of your environment and be able to both avoid hazards and utilize them to your advantage.
Well, sometimes the best tactic is to just kick someone off a bridge, right?
Of course it is, right? And that's one of the funny things about it.
Your environment.
People who played the game would always played the game and took it very seriously would always get annoyed at like ganking someone or throwing them off the edge, or like taking advantage of like stage hazards, or using your minions, or specifically like getting people to a choke point so you can push them off a bridge.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's what you'd do. Unless you're playing as like just the samurai character and you want to like. Go on, you're saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it kind of reminds me that we play a lot of Smash Bros, and a lot of the time we play a lot of Smash Bros where it is like, look, you've got this up to 8-player party game with infinite items near enough on screen at all times. Like if you want to, we often just play it 1v1, no items on a minimal stage.
Yeah, which that makes it so that I agree. If you're playing 1v1, you want skill to be the deciding factor. But I'd still argue you can still put bullshit one-hit kill stage hazards on a 1v1 and skill still be the deciding factor, because it is up to, you need to use your knowledge of that game to avoid or utilize that aspect of the environment. I don't think you should remove it. I just think you should make its implementation something that's less difficult to be cheesed, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, but like, I would say that we
in regards to Smash Bros, items add too much randomness into the game, and randomness is not something you can account for as a player. Whereas a static stage hazard that is a one-hit kill, you can absolutely play around that because you know where it is and how it works.
It's like, it's one of those things though, right? Of like, I enjoy playing Smash Bros in multiple different ways, but that is the most common way we do it. Like,
yes.
No items and minimal stage, whether we do 1v1s or do like 4 players at the time or whatever. But I enjoy playing it that way, and I would like never criticize anyone for wanting to play it another way. And
that's the thing, I'm happy that both of those like play styles are catered to. And in regards to For Honor, I find it frustrating, especially in like the team modes, where people will get frustrated and send you hate mail. If, for example, they're in like a 1v1 fight, and I'm just there and I'm running past, I'm jumping in to help, 'cause that you're on my team, and that if you spend 2 minutes having a one-on-one fight with this person, trying to look cool, that's time that could be spent holding the objective. If I can spy the opportunity to run in and just push that person off the edge of a cliff, I'm doing it. Because I'm playing as a fucking Viking, and that's what a Viking would do.
Yeah.
That's the aspect I never understood, of people getting mad at you helping them in a team-based like mode.
Yeah, because
same as in like the 2v1, you can play like 2-on-2, and if you manage to kill your opponent, a lot of the time, it's other players will get mad if you jump in and 2v1 the person who's left. That's not fair. It's like, it's not about being fair, it's about fucking winning. And I've had it before. I've watched my teammate get his ass whomped, and he sent me like hate mail for jumping in to help him when he was losing. It's like, if I'm role-playing as a dude, you're my teammate, and I'm just going to watch you get your ass beat.
Yeah, just watch him die, Karl. Do it. It's like, oh. Yeah, that's the frustrating part about any,
is people taking it
game
too seriously,
or game that you can take competitively. It's like, I remember, for example, like I streamed and played a lot of Fall Guys, like when that was initially coming out, and like very quickly it got to the point where it's like you could just every now and then spot that one person that's like, oh, they take the game way too seriously, and I cannot beat them.
Like the people on like the falling through the stage thing, where rather than running around like a jackass, they do the perfect jump every time. And then as well, they get mad if you run up and fuck them over. It's like, but we're playing a party game. Or, Lucas, remember our short-lived time where we'd play every week Among Us? And I remember the exact moment I stopped playing for Among Us with that group. And it was once where I was like the imposter, and I walked just in a random direction to follow somebody, and within 2 seconds of me doing that, someone called a meeting and went, Karl's the imposter because he walked in a direction he shouldn't have gone based on what I got as my goals. He shouldn't have gone that way, so he's the imposter. And that was what should have been 10 minutes of like social engineering, arguing back and forth, maybe some fun moments. It was like within 2 seconds, it's solved. Karl's the imposter, vote him out or we lose.
Call the meeting. I've noticed Karl's the imposter because I know the gameplay mechanics like the back of my hand,
and we win instantly.
It's like,
and where's the? And obviously that person had fun because they won, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is like some people only find the fun in winning, and it's like, but surely that game is not about winning. It's about, as you say, the social engineering and what that can create as like interesting stories.
Also, as well, it's really hard to argue. It's like when you're the imposter And it's like, okay, Karl is the imposter. Here's the fucking spreadsheet of every decision he should have made to play optimally that he didn't do. And my argument is, but no, I'm not though. It doesn't make the game fun. So it's like I said, that Fall Guys example, right? Like the idea is it's Takeshi's Castle with fucking baked beans running around like dickheads.
Yeah.
If there's one person who plays it perfectly, it's like, well, you're never going to beat that person.
Yeah.
Same way, like For Honor, if someone's playing like they refuse to engage with the multiplayer aspects, like you've got a partner, utilize that person. It's like, no, I'm fighting one-on-one. Then go play the one-on-one mode. Why are you playing the 2-on-2 mode?
Yeah.
That gameplay is catered to, just not in this queue.
Yeah. But you want to come in, like, it's like you want to bust down the door to my, like, you know, equivalent of, like, playing on Smash Bros. With no items. You want to bust the door down, throw items into the room, and then complain that you're playing with someone who doesn't want to use items. It's like
the same way.
There's a space for
right?
you to go and enjoy the game. You want to enjoy it. Go to that space.
Yeah, it's like you can reverse that, can't you? With like someone playing the part, like Smash as a party game, like stage with stage hazards, and someone going, no, we're playing Final Destination, no items. It's like both of those scenarios are not fun from the perspective of the person who's having the way the other person, like the correct way to play the game, enforced on others. Especially in For Honor, like, I'm not going to stand there and watch my homie get jumped. I'm fucking jumping in as well. And like one of the funniest things you can do when you're like the person offside is just constantly feint. Because all it does, if you constantly feint, the other person keeps getting a flash on their thing like block left, block left, block left, and then you jump to the side, block right. And I just think that would be terrifying if you're the one person, right? And there's just one person with a fucking fire axe going, oh, I might get you, I might get you.
Or you could have the opposite of like the fucking, like, I remember playing Resident Evil 5 with my friend, and it got to the point where we were so well like practiced at that game, where we'd go into like mercenaries or like play through the campaign again and go to like the boss fights and stuff, and it'd be like the final boss fight against Wesker, and instead of actually like helping Chris out, I'm just stood there as Sheva going go. And
there could be some fun in that, and obviously it's understood that that's the way you're playing. Like I think
I wouldn't do it like online with a stranger that doesn't get what we're doing.
Me and a friend of mine played so much Rainbow Six Vegas 2, where we had to start making challenges for ourselves so we could make it fun. We play so much like of the not single player, but like the just fight AI terrorist hunt mode, where it got to the point where it's okay, we're only doing this one with shotguns. And if we get one, and one of our challenges was, if you get one bullet, if you get hit once, no matter how much armor you're wearing, the other person's got to shoot you, and you have like a limited amount of respawns. I'll just never forget once, like I got clipped through the toe, and my mate saw it. It's split screen, like, Karl, you're injured, but he's like sniping from really far away. So I just ran into the enemy base, like, no, he's gonna get me, please. And similar to like the Nemesis system, it created a really fun, organic moment unique to our playthrough, where I can just picture from the perspective of the terrorist, of like the guy who's trying to shoot them runs in saying, please help me, and then a bullet went through his own head, shot by his teammate. And then that guy's identical twin brother came in with a fucking light machine gun and annihilated them all. And that's the fun when you make your own stories when you're playing games. And I like when gameplay systems facilitate that, a la the For Honor system, like, or the Nemesis system. It fucking sucks, man. The Nemesis system's so good.
Yeah, and you know, another like a very different example, but I can think of like the way that the kind of physics and chemistry systems work within like the newest Zelda games, like especially Tears of the Kingdom, where just like, oh hey, do you want to just like have all these different building blocks that all work together? And like, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And Carl's like, oh, Lucas, won't it be funny if you like make a dick rocket? And it's like, yeah, sure. And then you look online and people are making like fucking Harrier jets and stuff.
Well, it's like, a similar thing though, isn't it? Where I remember that game of watching you play through it, and you were like going through and like, okay, I'm going to strap a fucking mushroom to my shield because it's funny. But I think within like a week of that game being released, someone just said, okay, here's how you make the hover bike. And you can just go anywhere in the world.
The most efficient vehicle in the game, let's go. It's
and you get to the point where people complain when you're not using that, of like, why are you trying to climb, just build a hover bike? It's like, because I don't want to just trivialize the game by just building the single most efficient thing. I would rather try and solve it on my own.
Yeah. And it was interesting having a conversation with a friend where just they were like, well, I made the hover bike and now it's kind of ruined the game for me a bit because I don't have fun using the hover bike. But now that I know of its existence, every time I'm not using it, I feel like I'm playing the game less efficiently.
I had the exact same experience, yeah, because I think I built one in my playthrough and went, oh, it's too useful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, it trivializes every puzzle in the game. But as soon as I wasn't using it, I knew it was there. So do you know like those games where you get like the DLC bonus or like the pre-order bonus, and it's just a weapon that's better than your base weapon, and it trivializes the first like 6 hours of the game?
Mm-hmm.
That happened in like Dead Space a lot, where all the Dead Space games had like DLC weapons that were just better.
Yeah.
And you have to intentionally choose not to use it, but you're always there with the knowledge that, well, I could just go get the best weapon in the game and just fly through this section. But then I'd be robbing myself of the experience of the challenge or the intended developer experience. But as I said, I know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather it not be there.
It's very fun if that's an unlockable, right? If like, say for example, the foam finger in I think it's Dead Space 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, you have to earn that shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like if you play through the game, unlock the harder difficulty mode, go through the hardest difficulty, earn that foam finger, then you have that experience of like, well, I've finally earned that ridiculously difficult thing to earn. So now I can go through one last run of like the game where I annihilate everything instantly.
Yeah. And it's difficult to balance. And no doubt people out there who play games can think of examples themselves. We'd be interested to hear them in the comments of a Discord. Because like I said, that Zelda example is one that always springs to mind for me. Like, I never finished that game because I got like 10, 15 hours in, and the existence of the hover bike just completely removed any incentive I had to play it. And it's a shame that happened.
Yeah, and it can kind of be like it's the benefit and the negative to like having a system like that where you can do anything. It's like, but sometimes having the ability to do anything kind of then hampers your experience because like some people will end up getting locked into just finding out like the most like optimizing the fun out of it. Like
it's there's a great like folding ideas Dan Olsen video about it of like why it's rude to suck at Warcraft, which analyzes the like the psychology behind people who optimize the fun out of video games.
Mm-hmm.
And the comment section of that video is very interesting because it's just countless people sharing their stories of either themselves or other people optimizing the fun out of the video game, which makes them no longer want to play the video game. And it's a fascinating like perspective to view.
It's a kind of an early learning. You know, we were talking about Destiny earlier. An early learning that they had to deal with is that, hey, there was like a very good rocket launcher called Galahorn.
That was it.
And it was like for the very first raid, it was by far and away the most optimal weapon to use. But it was a very, very, very difficult drop to get, apart from like the one weekend where it was sold by a vendor, where at the time it was so rare, people didn't realize how good it was, didn't use their really rare resource to necessarily buy it. So then a lot of people had the chance to buy it that weekend, thought it would be a bad option to pick, and then didn't realize that they'd now be stuck in a loop where unless they got a really, really rare random drop, they would be excluded from all chance of raiding because it was you either have Galahorn or you don't get invited to the group.
And it locks you out of playing the game.
That was the optimum pick, and it's just, yeah, like, it got to a point where people were literally gatekeeping the raid experience unless you had that one weapon.
I think I played a lot of Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is like, oh, it's a double XP weekend. Like, I'll do that. It's like, I'll go level up some weapons that I like. Oh, everyone's just playing Shipment because it's the level where it's a fucking square where you can throw a grenade and get 3 kills. And that's the only mode, like, a good 70% of people played on those games. And, like, people would automatically, like, quit out of the bigger maps.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Halo, right? If you never got to play certain maps when you could vote for them because some of them were too big. And because they were so big, you couldn't get as many kills. So people didn't have as much fun.
Yeah.
Or playing Battlefield, right? Of not being able to use the vehicles because the guy who's like, I play with the jet. You get kicked out of servers or shot out of the sky by your own teammates because they wanted the jet.
Yeah.
So that entire gameplay experience is locked off to you as a player because some dipshit decide it's only they get to have fun with it.
Yeah, it's like, that's their jet, Karl.
That's their jet.
How dare
I
you.
distinctly recall, I was kicked out of a server once and some guys like, that's my jet.
It's
Just
so
kick me,
funny.
kick me out of a server.
It's not. It's really depressing that like people play that way, but like just the anecdote of like, oh yeah, I went to try some Battlefield. Oh cool, a good thing that like Battlefield separates itself with is the vehicles. I'll get in a vehicle kicked.
It's like I reinstalled Marvel Rivals for some new characters we're going to try out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll go to the subreddit, just like I'll see if there's like anything I should be aware of, like any quirks of how characters function. Sometimes like characters have like, oh, don't use this move, or there's like a bug interaction here or something. And just I saw a video of some guys like, I was going to try Devil Dinosaur, so I selected Devil Dinosaur. Here's like just my recording of my screen of a guy screaming into his microphone that he plays Devil Dinosaur, and if I don't quit off Devil Dinosaur, he's going to throw the game. And I'm like, dude, just pick one of the other 50 fucking characters.
Yeah, and you know, I find it funny as well because like, you know, talking about Marvel Rivals and like going back to ring outs is like, I am always that kind of person where it's like people will sit there and get super frustrated of like, oh, I hate Jeff players because they're super. You can just grab the enemy team within a certain radius and just spit them out off the edge. And certain characters just cannot do a thing about that. They just get ringed out and instantly killed. And it's like, I'll never not find that character that winds people up for me.
It's also, as well, it's great for people who don't know how to play the game. I think Jeff is deliberately designed. Like, there's like interviews with the designers talking about, we wanted Jeff to be a very easy character to play. We wanted people to be able to get easy kills with that character because we need that really low skill ceiling character to onboard people. Mm-hmm. And we want people who aren't very good at the game, who aren't good at aiming, who aren't like fucking crack shots or like have played CSGO, to have the chance to maybe get a double kill or a team wipe and help their team. That's why the same way they gave him, like, what is his primary fire? He just shoots a giant stream of water that heals fucking everybody. Mm-hmm. So he's a really easy to use healer that anybody can pick up and play. But there's depth to his character.
There is, yeah. And like they're
like,
also,
in terms of like his
depending
gameplay
on the balance and stuff, most of the time they haven't been as useful as being really good with a higher skilled character. But
yes, but you can still do something with Jeff. Yeah,
like I play a lot of Overwatch, and for a long time, like kind of my two picks were either Lucio or Mercy, because Mercy could like have auto aim on a healing, so it just like target the person that you're roughly aiming towards, or Lucio buffs everyone in an area around him. So it doesn't really matter if I'm not the best with my aiming and my weapon. I still at least like healing everyone in a rough area around me. So
you benefit your team. Yeah, you benefit your team just by existing near them, and
exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's equal parts interesting, equal parts frustrating when there's people who seemingly ignore that. Like I played like a couple of games of Marvel Rivals, and I just forgot like, oh, this is the game where just everybody picks DPS and no one picks support, and then they moan at you when you pick support and you're just being picked off by the dives.
Yeah,
and they bitch at you like heal better. It's like, fucking protect me then, dipshit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The same as when I booted up For Honor. So I was having really funny, and I jumped into like a team fight. I'll help my teammate in this team fight. Just start spamming the thing of like, don't help, don't help, don't help. It's like, then I watched him just fucking die. It's like, cool. Is your pride worth more than your life, dipshit? And I guess it is to that guy.
Oh, God, it's funny.
Do you imagine that in real life? Like Lucas, like if you were getting jumped by like 3 dudes, would you just go to me and like,
no, Karl,
would you park enter and go, no, I'm going to take this ass one pin?
Don't worry, Karl. Don't insult my honor.
Do you know what it's like? It's like when you see like tag team matches in wrestling, right? And the person's crawling to try and get to their teammate. It's like, I'm right here. Like, Joey, you see him, like, and like, you see the person like, come on, tag me, and I can help you. And we just don't let him come in. Don't be that guy. It's a team game. Utilization of your team is an aspect of gameplay that you should absolutely master. It's an intended part of the game. You should utilize it as much as you do your own moveset. The same way you should always be aware of your surroundings and your any hazards.
Yeah, it's a really frustrating tactic, but it's like playing a lot of shooters, right? Where just sometimes you'll like be playing Halo or something or Destiny, and like
just choke points.
the group will just walk around as like a group of 6 and just insta-kill any one individual they see on the way.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I remember like playing a lot of Halo back in the day.
But playing as a team is it's a really powerful tactic.
Like, remember, we got so good. I wasn't the best at Halo, but when you're playing with like 2 or 3 people, and even if you're not that good, but if all 4 of you on a team of 4 are just communicating and you move around as a team, it's like, I don't care how good one guy is, if 4 people shoot him at once, he's fucking going down in a game where 5 shots kill.
Yeah.
Because just statistically, we're more likely. Because same as like, if For Honor, like, if we just move around as a unit and just hold the position and just never fucking leave, we'll win every game.
Yeah.
Same with Marvel Rivals, right? Like, if we just all move on the point at the same time, we'll win. We'll win every time. And people don't. What about if I die? It's okay. There's healers. Trust them to heal you. And if you do die, it's fine because we've got the point.
Or you get the opposite one of just the Spider-Man that's already 50 feet in front of you. It's like, fuck's sake.
It's interesting. It's like, it's a shame as well because obviously there's so much fun you can have with a game like For Honor. But a lot of the, like, there's so much of that fun that can be taken away from you via things that you can't control, such as just the way other people choose to interact with the systems.
Which is true to like pretty much any multiplayer game. So if you know, Karl saying that puts you off a little bit, like that's true to basically any multiplayer experience online, right?
All I'll say is For Honor is like 4 or 5 quid. You can go buy For Honor for a couple of quid. Buy it for a couple of quid and just try it over a weekend. Just to experience like one of the most unique control systems for a fighting game I've ever seen.
Thing is though, Karl, you know what else is often like 4 or 5 quid?
Titanfall.
Titanfall 2, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, but there's probably more people playing For Honor than there is Titanfall.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's the thing, is you can make the argument of like, hey, for the price of like 1/6 of what a normal new game is now, you could get For Honor and Titanfall 2 and have an absolute fucking blast.
I'll also say as well about like Titanfall, where we mentioned it in a video, and we did get people in our Discord saying I bought it and it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
So maybe if people do the same thing for Honor, it's a fantastic game if it scratches the particular itch that it does for myself, and I'm not sure how many people out there have the same approach and like ideas about what makes a good game as I do. But if anything I've said sounds fun, I'll just one-pin someone's ass. I always play as like Wu Lin. I always play as like this Uncle Iroh looking motherfucker because his parry move is he just grabs the opponent by the throat and slaps him across the face, and it always makes the person stumble backwards with no stamina, which is like a really big animated thing, and you can't do anything after that. But on stage with a ledge, just there's nothing more satisfying than and they stumble backwards for like 10 seconds and eat shit, and it's funny every single time.
That's the thing is like I've not played loads, but when I've played with you, I've had a blast. It's been really good fun.
There's nothing quite like it. It's similar to like Smash Bros, right? Where there's no fighting game that captures the feeling of landing a dunk.
Karl, there's I can't even fucking remember the
Rivals
name.
of Ether.
No, I was gonna say there's like that fucking Warner Bros game where like Gandalf can fight Bugs Bunny.
No, yeah, fair enough. But it doesn't capture the thing because it doesn't have the same momentum and kinetic feel.
I think it's also been taken offline or some shit as well.
Speaking of like games that didn't last very long, honestly, there's no game that replicates the feeling of landing like a smash attack in Smash Bros or a dunk or jumping off the stage and backhanding someone so they stay spike off the stage. Like no game gives you that feeling. The same way in For Honor, nothing quite feels as good as like coming out of a 2v1 fight. It feels like something straight out of a movie. It feels choreographed, like something out of a movie. Because like the animations are deliberate, but they're still snappy enough to feel responsive. Like you don't feel like a Dark Souls game. You got to apply for planning permission to swing your sword. You can do a bigger swing, but those big swings like can be feinted, and they can be feinted like really, really easily. And when you get to a good point, you are feinting, you're dodging, you move around like a badass. It's just fun.
Hell yeah.
Go play it.
But yeah, I think we can wrap it up there. But apologies if like Karl and I have either been talking over each other a little bit or a bit stilted and giving each other a bit too much room. But just we haven't been able to sort out the issues we've been having with Discord today.
We apologise.
But yeah, thank you all for listening, and I hope you all have a very honourable day.
Yes.
Checked the internet lately. Right it.
Someone posted screenshots cropped on Paint of a Google Doc containing all of the people who support the channel Wiki Weekends on Patreon.
Show me. How did they?
So folks at home, thank you for watching this far. What's about to follow is myself and Lucas thanking the various people who support us over on our Patreon. But we're recording this extra bit after the fact because I just wanted to point out, this might be the most amount of times I've ever made Lucas lose his shit in a recording session. It's what, 4-5 times you just lost your shit and had to move off camera because you were laughing too hard? He does indeed. Well, let's right now just go back to ourselves from 10 minutes ago to shout out the various people who support us over on our Patreon. Cheers.
They are indeed our big PPs, the people on our highest tier over on our Patreon, and that is starting with, but not ending with, Ghost, little underscore ghost.
And did you ever think, Lucas, there'd be a point in your life where you would be earning money for trying to verbalise what an emoji means?
Yeah, so 12 of the 13 ghosts are in fact little emojis of ghosts sort of sticking the tongue out at us, so thank you.
The one that I like is that like screenshot of someone on an iPhone getting a message from someone on iOS. On iOS, you can send really giant emojis, and the person on iPhone's like, what you'd be doing sending that big-ass emoji, get out. But we move on to shout out another person who supports us on our Patreon, and fair play to this person because they have supported us for a long time and every month go out of their way to embarrass both myself and Lucas as the uncultured swine that we are.
It is true. Last month I struggled. This month it's you, I'm afraid, Karl.
Yes, and that person is Tinakwi Hochata, which hopefully I'm pronouncing that part correctly, but then there's an entire extra sentence in a language I don't speak, so... Axon, Ik Mati, Nota Kittel, Kaltelmak Toljan, Jinmaka, Tek Kittel Wan, Neopis Miki Wan, Neo West Wetok, San Papati Kek.
I do not envy you because I think that may have been the most difficult one so far.
Like, at a certain point, this person could just troll and write fucking anything.
Like, that's like, we've got zero idea what any of this is saying, if it's real or not.
It's like when you get the pub quiz, like, host to read out, like, a really bad name, like Norfolk and Chance. And it's like, oh, Norfolk and Chance. Or whale, oil, beef, hooked. Well, all be fucked. Like one I saw recently, and we probably can't put this in, so I'll censor it, but I want to get your reaction to it, is I saw like a Twitch streamer who was like contacted by someone in the chat of like, yeah, my friend
Hello, Mr. Kearns?
has been like doing really poorly lately. Our boyfriend cheated on her, so can you just say out loud like,
It's Kearns, stupid!
and it's just, no! And it's okay, Lucas, because all of that was edited out, but your reaction was left in.
Futurama joke of like icy wiener.
Oh, from Hot Fuzz, right? Of P.I. Staker.
P.I. Staker.
So, well, Mr. Staker, what is it like? Well, long, slender neck, white feathers, sort of...
Orange and black beak.
Yeah, swan-like.
The swan-like, yeah.
But Lucas, who do we have to shout out next? We can move away from that.
Well, Karl, I have part one of a two-parter when it comes to this Patreon.
Yeah, so we're unsure if this is two people who've individually sponsored us and are in like some sort of weird beef with one another, or if it's the same person with two accounts. And we don't want to know, but both of the names in order are a dramatic conversation. So I guess you do the first part, I'll do a second part.
And the first part of two goes, terrific. You can stand a quote beat of evil. Since you already full well know my plan, you will just have to stop me.
Stumbling to his feet. No! B shouts, I won't let you start your sick plan. And one day I do hope we get contacted to do voice acting. I've said it all the time, I'm not very good at it, but I would love if there's like an indie like creator out there just like, let me do an effort in your video game. Let me do like a or like a no. Yeah, let me do like a scream for like a Dragon Ball character to piss off my neighbours.
And the next patron we have to thank, or Big PP, is once again Ruslandis Memphis.
Yes, and last month I did remember that I promised to play the opening bars of Walking in Memphis, but I was so hungover when that had to go out. So I might reuse that clip because I was so hungover and I was like wearing like my Broly hoodie because I just woke up. I was like, fuck, I said I'd play something on the piano for this person. So I might record another like piano ditty for this person. I'm not sure I'll reuse that because I have been trying to learn how to play the piano. I've been doing okay.
I think it's kind of more pure if you use the hungover Karl version.
But I really did try. I tried for them because we've tried so hard to like give Roland Memphis the props they deserve for supporting us for as long as they have. Mm-hmm. And hopefully that effort is appreciated, or at least acknowledged.
And who's the next person we have to acknowledge, Karl?
Well, we have to move on to another long-time supporter. Or at least I assume it is. I assume it's the same person, the same name. If not, someone just jacked their entire flow. And I'm not happy about that. But it's Ranma Sotamang. And I guess, like, Lucas from an anime. Come on, give me a shout-out for an anime clip I can put in. Like, we mentioned, like, voice acting. You know what? Voice acting moments from an anime we can put in. That's, like, just put ours to shame.
I think it has to be just Trunks turning into buff Trunks of ha.
Well, I think what I noticed recently is the Invincible game came out, and none of the voice actors have reprised their role from the show.
Of course they haven't.
Except for J.K. Simmons.
Oh!
Who come back to do Omni-Man, but no one's come back to do any of the other ones. And the person they got in to do Alan the Alien, Seth Rogen's character, is so bad that there's a theory that they're doing it on purpose so Seth Rogen will feel obligated to come back and redo all the lines.
Oh, no.
Because they clearly have someone try and do like Seth Rogen's laugh, but no one can do his laugh. They don't smoke 50 joints a day. So it just sounds like someone to start a fucking lawnmower.
I thought we were cool, and now I have to kill you? You see a great view? Oh, damn! Filtermite time! God, sucker!
My turn now.
So, Karl, the next person we have to shout out is Michael Tatum, and for some reason, I don't know why, this recording session of all recording sessions, that reminded me of Channing Tatum, and maybe you can put a clip of, like, your favourite, silly or stupid Channing Tatum moment in, whether that be the glistening abs, or whether that be just like getting high in 21 Jump Street.
Well, let's see, it's never going to be anything from Magic Mike, because Channing Tatum's single greatest moment on screen is in 22 Jump Street, where he's running through like the city and all the birds get in his way, and he just screams at the top of his lungs, "Fuck you, doves!" No line has ever been delivered with more sincerity than Channing Tatum saying, "Fuck you, doves."
Fuck you, doves!
I think it's just 21 Jump Street when he's high and he decides to like head dive through the gong.
Fuck you, Miles Davis!
Speaking of really great lines from Channing Tatum in 22 Jump Street, where they're sitting at their dorm room and he puts the Lambo poster on the wall and he's like, "I'm going to veto the poster." What do you mean? It's a Lambo. It's cool as fuck. It's like, "Don't you think it's a touch childish?" And just Channing Tatum says, I don't know what Lamborghinis have to do with touching children. And it's such a sincerely delivered line, and it's perfect.
It's a touch childish.
Okay, what do Lambos have to do with touching children?
And look at your reaction to it. You're laughing, thinking about it.
I am.
Isn't that so much funnier than "My name is Jeff"? And "My name is Jeff" is great, but he doesn't get the reaction that "I don't know what Lamborghinis have to do with touching children."
It's such a good line.
And speaking of so fucking good, the final person to shout out is Kicking Bucket, and your support is very much appreciated. Not expected, but appreciated. And I guess, Lucas, Kicking Bucket can often be used as a euphemism for, like, eating shit and dying super hard. So in that vein, Lucas, any favourite moments of someone eating shit from fiction?
Well, I think, as people can maybe tell from my earlier scream, I have been rewatching some of Dragon Ball Z. And just that moment where Frieza / Mecha Frieza rocks back up on Earth and thinks he's the hottest shit, and Trunks just takes him out in 1 second.
It is the funniest thing Dragon Ball has ever done, where they show you the perspective of like the Frieza versus Trunks fight from like someone who filmed it on an iPhone, and Mecha Frieza's dead in like 1 second.
It's so fast because that entire moment is 10, 15, 20 minutes in the anime.
Yeah.
But actually that's about 5-10 seconds long.
Yeah, it lends credence to the theory that like Dragon Ball isn't bad at managing time. It's just that all of the conversations are happening at super speed.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Frieza says the planet will be destroyed in 5 minutes, he means it. It's just that he and Goku move at like 1,000 times faster than we can
I
comprehend.
genuinely believe that fight only took 5 minutes because they're just moving that fast.
Yeah, and they can talk super fast, or they can like psychically communicate with one another like hyperspeed.
Yeah, like Resurrection F, the Frieza Force turn up and Krillin's like, why is everyone a jobber? It's like, Krillin, you were the jobber, but now you're not anymore.
It's like, Krillin, you're slinging dick into Android 18 who's got infinite fucking potential and energy. Do you really think jobber number 3's got a chance?
Fuck's sake.
And there it is, folks. The reaction I always look for in one of these recording sessions. Lucas losing his shit.